Hello and welcome to the 30 to Lock show presented by RotoRadar Daily Fantasy Sports. My name is Joshua Reimer. I am joined by none other than a hatless Jared Block, which I have not seen in quite some time. But I'm liking the lettuce, is what we used to call it back in high school, Jared.
What,
Yeah,
what is that?
that's what the hey, I didn't play lacrosse myself, but I was a sports med trainer for a long time in high school, and I did it for men's lacrosse. And when I grew up my hair, they had the lettuce, and that's what they called it. They called the flow
Interesting.
the lettuce. And so that's why I've always got those same responses whenever I said it to other people, like, what the hell are you talking about,
Yeah,
dude? But figured it'd be a
I
good way
think
to kick off the
that's your
show.
high school. I think that's
Y-
just your high school.
Yeah, sounds like
Um,
it.
oh my god. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice slate. I'm actually wearing the wrong team. I have my Brewers baseball three
Wow.
quarter on, and I should have been wearing Buck stuff. But hey, I got an interest in both parties tonight.
There you go. Yeah, I should have had my Grizzlies hat on. I have a Titans hat instead. I guess I'm still supporting Nashville, so that's okay. But yeah, we're here. We get to talk about today's slate. We get to talk about some NBA. If you guys want to ask us any questions, go ahead. But we're here to talk about both, and we have 20 minutes until that NBA slate locks. It's actually 18 minutes, not even 20, and we have around 23 minutes until MLB locks. So Jared, I'll kick it off with the same question I always ask you to kick off these shows. What is one guy that you wish you could have got in the lineup today that just was not able to fit?
This one's easy. It's Mike Trout. I think
Hmm.
that he's gonna hit a home run today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hit two.
All right, I can get behind the Mike Trout call. I think you're pretty spot on there with the call there, and I think that he's going to have a good game today. Um, I like that Angels team a lot more, and I just don't have the money to get there, but I'm happy with my stack ended up. If there's one guy that I wish I could have got in the lineup that I didn't, it would have to be, man. This is kind of tough. I think it has to be. Hmm, thinking. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Oh, Keibert Ruiz, easy. I tried to get him in all day. I love the play from Washington of Keibert Ruiz, and only got him in. I didn't get him in on either side actually. I tried to get him in on DraftKings and FanDuel, and it didn't happen today. So, for those who are not playing any Keibert Ruiz shares, I would suggest playing some because I like to play a lot.
Yeah, I like Hebert Ruiz too. I think I like him more on DraftKings. I also was going to say Randall Grichuk is a guy
Mm,
I want, but I couldn't get to.
yeah, Connor Joe as well, another guy. What's going on, Tyler? Happy to have you here. Ready for a big bounce back night as well. I'm ready to smash, man. So much. I mean, like, I know must sound like a broken record, and it's just as annoying to you guys as it is to me, but man, the bad variance just keeps going on. Like, the fact that you have two Diamondbacks hitters end up smashing last night, combined for 40 FanDuel points and win everybody the slate. Just so infuriating, man. I could not emphasize enough.
Yep, I agree. I would think we're ready to get over last night's variance. Tonight should be fun. I also think that we're both heavier on cores than it sounds like most of the industry is.
Yeah, man.
At least on one side of the ball. I mean, I don't really know. I hate to play the guessing game exactly. I just feel like the way that the construction's falling today, if you're paying up a pitcher, you got to take one team or the other.
I think there is specifically one guy that I'm taking from the Rockies that the industry is just not going to have today, and it is going to be such a difference maker for us tonight.
I would agree. I meant to bring this up like a couple minutes ago, but did you catch Ryan? Speaking of Nashville, did you catch Ryan Tannehill's comments this afternoon?
I'm sure well, actually I don't know if you use like Internet Explorer or like the base internet
No.
thing, but like whenever I open up a new tab, I see a whole bunch of storylines, and usually there's a lot of F1 stuff, there's basketball stuff, there's just everything sports basically in there. But I saw Kurt Warner commented on what Ryan Tannehill said, so I have no clue what Tannehill said, but I know it was enough for Kurt Warner to comment on it.
Yes. So he quite rudely, like not like Tannehill is usually a pretty bright and I wouldn't like pretty confident interview. and he was, I think, thrown off or maybe expecting the question to come up. So when he was asked if he would take Malik Willis under his wing and mentor him, he said, "I don't think that I have to do that for him."
Wow. That's some
Pretty
interesting
controversial.
language to have. Yeah, that's kinda I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like you should definitely do that for an up and coming rookie, but I guess, I don't know. That's very interesting for sure.
Yep. So that's getting its rounds today. People were not stoked on that response from him.
Yeah, I can imagine. People usually don't, react very well to those types of comments from veteran players.
If you guys have any NBA DFS questions or MLB DFS questions, we can definitely cover both. Biggest news out of the NBA camp for today's slate was that Marcus Smart got ruled out for Tuesday's Game 2 game against Milwaukee. So there's, the value opens up on that side of the ball. Chris Middleton already still out for the Bucks. So I'm curious, and I kind of I had Derek White all day, so I was kind of
Nice.
a little bit pissed about that because now he's going to be 80% owned on the slate.
Yeah.
He's starting. But I do think this is a very interesting spot for a guy like Jalen Brown to come back in to play a normal, like kind of have a bounce back game. He played terribly the other day, and so did Tatum. So I'm interested in how it goes. I'm actually choosing no superstars from that first game, Josh.
Oh.
Thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I mean, like, hey, I don't blame you from no choosing no superstars. I think there's a lot of good pay down spots in that first game. I think I'm taking Tatum though. I still feel good about the upside that Tatum has. I feel good about the upside that Brown has as well. But I think Brown's still dealing with that injury, like you said on our morning after show yesterday. And I think they're really going to rely on Tatum to kind of take over the load. Should be interesting though, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they bounce back in this spot. Believe they're still favored. I'll have to check that right
They
now.
are.
They were favored still after the Bucks or after the lineup adjustment for the Celtics.
Minus three and a
So I'm
half
not. I'm not
on
gonna.
Bet Online.
Okay, so it's gone down a point and a half with Smart. That's kind of a lot for a guy of his
Yeah.
starting impact. So I could still see a way that Boston wins, and they're going to have to hit shots in order to do so. So the main benefactors are the guys that take the shots. Hopefully
Yeah.
they don't trust in Derek White and Peyton Pritchard to throw up like 15 threes combined again.
Yeah, right. Maybe because of that poor performance from Pritchard, you're gonna see a lot more you're gonna see a lot of Derek White. Like I think you could potentially see what do you think his minutes might look like? Like I think he could see what he saw in that last Milwaukee game where I mean, they've seen him play 38 minutes before. I would not be shocked to see him play that many minutes in this one.
I think a conservative answer is 30, and he'll probably play more. The
What do you think?
Boston, this is a must win for Boston. Like, I can't
Yes.
stress that enough.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. What do you think about Jaron Jackson? Because obviously he had an amazing game last time to really keep the Grizzlies in that game, kind of get them back into that game versus the Warriors. But just like Boston, this is a must win for Memphis. So if do you think Jackson's the answer? Do you think Morant's the answer? Which way would you lean there?
I'm leaning Morant, and I think that this is a spot for me where I played Jaron Jackson. I believe I played him in the single game format the other day
You
on
did.
Sunday,
Nice.
and he obviously did very well in that
Yeah.
format because he's basically unowned. So I'm going to take that opportunity to get off of him, and I think that while the price tag's still nice, Brandon Clark should be owned again. I'm going to the back to the well on Draymond Green because I think he's
Dude,
probably not going to get ejected again, but dude's going to go ballistic tonight. I have a feeling.
you and I think so much alike when it comes to NBA because I think if they're the best play on the slate at the power forward position tonight has to be Draymond Green. This is a narrative that we've been on for quite a while. After he gets ejected, he usually comes back with a vengeance. And even before he got ejected, we got to remember he was on his way to
22.
having an amazing game. Like he was on his way to very easily clearing 40 FanDuel points and possibly getting close to that 50 mark. And now you consider that he's coming back with even more of a vengeance. Like I think Draymond's the answer here. I think Draymond's a really good play. I like a lot of plays from this Warriors team. I think from Memphis, it's really truly just job, but I think you can get Jordan Poole again and go back to the well there. I like Klay Thompson in this matchup. I don't know, which game do you like more? Do you like the Boston game or do you like the Memphis game?
Or stackability.
Yes, for stackability.
Well, DFS, it's definitely the first game, and then you have to play the best plays from the second game. I think that's how I'm
Really?
viewing it.
I think the way
Yeah,
that I'm viewing it is the other way around because at the end of the day, Boston does run so slow, and both of those teams have such good defenses. And I think they both have good
sure.
defenses in the Memphis game as well. But the pace is so much faster; it's so much more run and gun all the way throughout the game. So I think I'm on the
Let
other
me
side of that.
let me see if I can actually back up my own point with my own lineup.
Okay,
Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 players from the first game, 4 from the second, or
I
3
think
from the second.
I'm the opposite of you. I think I have 3 players from the first game and 6 from the second.
Yep.
So
I'm also I'm not I'm probably not fading Pool for the rest of the playoffs. Just
just
saying.
gonna play him every night, lock and load.
I'm just playing him. I played him last time, 50 FanDuel points, and he's going to continue to be a guy that if they're going to try to take Curry out of the series, Pool's going to be the dude.
Yeah, I can get behind that. All right. I am getting stuff uploaded for I'm getting stuff uploaded for the NBA slate today. So if you want to take over for a second while I do get all this done, that would be very much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that I actually have all my stuff done. I think it is. It's all done. It's just one of those things where I know I've posted so many times that I just need to make sure it's all there.
It's always good to double
Yeah.
check, man. Always good to double check. That's what I've learned.
Uh, yep. So Bucks Celtics 3.5 towards the Celtics, 216 total. Warriors Grizzlies 2-point favorites for Golden State, 227.5 the total there. 10 points difference, 11.5 points difference for that second game. I think both will be great. I think that you can argue that both will be physical, and I
Mhm.
love seeing that. We didn't really see much physicality last night, a little bit in the last game. I was expecting more physicality from Heat Sixers, but there just isn't that
Yeah.
much there when Lowry and Embiid aren't playing. I can't wait to see Joel Embiid's mask. Like it's going to be incredible. He's
Yeah.
already had a mask before. This one's going to be next level. He probably could. You could see Embiid in like protective, like the most ridiculous protective goggles. Like Bobby Portis's are pretty cool, actually. They're they're like cool guy glasses. I don't even know if you've seen them yet,
Of
but
course.
Joel Embiid's are gonna be insane.
Yeah, I have not seen them, but I'll have to go take a look after we get off the show. For season pass members, my MLB lineup just got put up in Discord, and I'm about to go put it up on the site as well.
How is you feeling about Syndergaard evolved as the days gone on?
Oh man, I like the play a lot. You know, I think it is a good play. I just don't think it's for me today. And I'm going to be really disappointed because this is going to be the start where he finally like actually has a good K rate and looks really good and we're going to see his price tag just go up into like the mid nines next game to the point where I'm not going to be able to play him.
Yep, agreed. I think that I'm not playing him tonight either, but it's a spot where I could see it. Next week might be too late to get him at a price tag you like.
Yeah, this might be the last week that you see Syndergaard under 9K. Definitely might be the last week that you see Syndergaard under 9K. Doesn't seem like we have any questions. So everything is posted for y'all guys. We are just waiting on luck now. I'm curious to see ownerships for MLB, obviously, but a lot of our ownership's going to come a little bit later in the night. I'm more excited to see NBA ownership to kick off this slate.
Yes, me too. Very curious to see what Giannis comes in again because like it's gonna be like that. That's your decision today.
Hmm.
Giannis versus Morant versus. I don't think many people are playing Curry, although I do think he snaps in one of these games.
Yeah.
Uh, Kind of a weird performance for Curry, even though he came up big late. And that game was kind of all over the board. But I faded Ja on Sunday. That was a mistake. I'm not doing it again today.
When I mean, like, it's just like last series, right? They lost the first game of last series. He came out the second game and just balled the fuck out. Like whenever he gets a chip on his shoulder, man, there's no stopping the guy. So I think that applies to today's slate as well.
Yes, I agree. I mean, some of these slates are pretty easy. This one was one of them in
Yeah,
terms
oh
of
yeah.
how things are laid out and what you want to do with it.
Com- you compare today's slate to yesterday's slate, and holy
Oh,
crap,
yesterday was garbage.
yesterday was such garbage, man. Today's slate is so much fun. I this these two games are just so much more exciting to me than the other game at all, than the other two games. In all honesty,
Until Embiid comes back, then that's the thing when things get interesting. It kind of is strange now how Harden is sort of irrelevant in the playoffs.
yeah, no, it's a good point. It does feel like I mean he is just a complete like talk about a guy who's just completely changed. Like he is just not the same guy anymore, which is it's sad, but it's just the truth, right?
hmm So I don't want to put this dude on blast because I have no idea who he is, but I just head to head matched up with somebody on FanDuel whose username is Baltimore Pride. You think that they're pitching Joe
Oof.
Ryan today?
I don't know. You got to tell me though. You got to keep me updated on it because I'm curious. Maybe they'll pitch Bruce Zimmerman at his high price tag.
Oh boy. That's kind
Uh,
of what I'm wondering.
Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be a good time for you?
I found a FanDuel username that's called Pittsburgh Payment Plan. I wonder if that's Anthony.
That's funny.
We'll see how it goes. But I like where my lineups landed on both sites and both sports. So
Yeah, man.
good night.
Yes, sir.
Doing one more sweep because I'm paranoid.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a see now. You're making me paranoid, so I feel like I've got to do a sweep real quick.
It's just different when both sports are happening, and that's the main
Once
concern.
it's once it's one sport, it is a completely different beast. Like once we go back to like having normal, just only MLB, it'll be a lot easier. But right now, I agree with you that the smart move is just to double check. Always good to
Uh,
double check.
thoughts on Sam Hilliard? I think he is not a must on DraftKings, but he's very much in play.
I agree. So I like Hilliard a lot. I think he's a very good play. I worry a tiny bit about pinch hit risk, but Washington does not have a lot of lefties in that bullpen, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem for him. At the end of the day, he crushes Fetty's pitch type. I can get behind him at such a cheap price tag everywhere.
Yeah, what's he on FanDuel? I didn't get to look there.
2,500 on FanDuel.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think on DK that was the guy that you could use on in cores to kind of save a bunch outside of
Yep.
Caesar Hernandez.
Yep.
That is actually who I locked in as my third outfielder on DK. So
Nice.
I just felt it was necessary to kind of get what I wanted. I ended up paying up at SP1 more than I
Hmm.
had planned initially. So that's kind of what I thought to do there. Because if you're playing a cheap outfielder, you're going to do it from course. So,
Yep. You certainly are going to do it from cores.
well, we got 5 more minutes to talk baseball. Fantastic. That means I can answer
Hell
more
yeah.
content.
Here, let's go over. I wanted to see this. I didn't get a real chance to look at umpire data today, but I am curious about it. I saw that Joe Ryan does not get a good umpire, but he doesn't get a bad umpire either, just not a very K heavy umpire. You want to know who gets the best umpire on the slate, though?
Ooh, Christian Javier.
Christian Javier gets C-Bay
Yeah,
Bucknor, top
good.
guy when it comes to pitchers umps. Has an 18% boost in K rates. So CB Bucknor is a really really good pitchers ump. I've always remembered that. Los Diaz finally gets the ump. He was supposed to yesterday but didn't. But he gets it for the Mets game today. Just kind of searching through these. Um, Oh, here we go. We got a question. Darius asks, would you fade Blackman or Trout on DK? I'd be fine with fading Trout. I wouldn't be fine with fading Blackman.
Agreed. Even in tournaments, I think uh, Blackman's the better play.
Mhm.
That's good news, man. What did I didn't end up going Rodon today. Did he get a pitcher's ump?
He did yes, he did. Got Dan Merzel, who hasn't umped a lot of games yet, so a little bit inconclusive. But like K rates overall, he has the highest K rate on today's slate. But has a 7% boost in Ks. Has a walk rate that goes down 13%, which is insane. So yeah, definitely Dan Merzel seems like a pitcher's ump, but that it's a little bit too early. He's only umped 28 games so far.
Okay.
He's only been
All right.
behind home plate 28 times. He's umped more games, but all right. Seems like we don't have any more questions or anything. We're kind of just we're chilling, relaxing.
Outside of the Angels, who's the stack that you would have wanted to have? I think we both
Astros,
agree we wish we would have won. Okay. All right.
Astros, man. I wasn't able to get a single one today, but I guarantee because I did not play them, they absolutely destroy Flexen tonight. What about you? Where do you lean? Is it Astros 2 for you?
Yeah, a little. I think there's some interest there. Um,
I think Milwaukee is another team that like I got no one in, but like I would not be surprised to see Malley at the end of the night be out in an early inning, and then you could really see things be get some pretty poor umpire or pretty poor uh bullpen play.
Yep, I have Brewers exposure. I guess the other teams that I thought, I think outside of there's only one. It's clearly the Angels that I really wanted, but I couldn't do it. But in terms of the other teams, like I had White Sox interest earlier today. That didn't work out. Royals kind of got a slight bump, but not really. So I don't want to do that. And then, I mean, Astros would have probably been in that conversation too. The one game that I was interested in that I thought if, this was dating back to yesterday before we even knew what slate time was, but I had some interest in Phillies targeting John Gray because that would have been fun, but that game did not make the main slate. It's playing right now.
Yeah,
Um, but that Phillies team owns John Gray, so maybe we look at that if that ever happens again this season.
yeah, man, I can get behind that. I can get behind that for sure.
Perfect. All right. Okay. That's I feel very, very good about tonight's slates. I think that until we find out what I can say this now for the next like 30 seconds, but well, I'm interested to see what the FanDuel ownership's going to be like. I think the more that I thought about it, the more I do feel like it's going to be split ownership between Ryan and Woodruff, and I don't know if there's going to be a clear dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because like I felt like the industry was really high on Woodruff, but I could definitely see or Ryan, but I could definitely see Woodruff being that higher owned guy. It's going to be something that we find out very soon. Actually, we can go find that out right now. Let's go see. Because I mean, I don't know what like comfortability wise in cash. Which guy was your top guy?
Oh, Ryan and Cash.
You were right, sir. 18% ownership on Joe Ryan in 50/50s. Miranda, 53%, and Gio Urshela, 5%. So field needed Miranda to, I feel like, end up going cheap at the end of the day. But I'm going to be very interested to see what this where the rest of this ownership goes. Do you think it's majority Woodruff? Do you think people went Javier? Like, I don't feel like people went Javier if they went Miranda because
I
I
don't
mean,
think so. Christian still has extreme bust potential, even though that was my primary pitcher today.
mhm.
Uh, Carlos Correa came in at 26%, and Jorge Polanco around 15. I have not seen Buxton yet. I would assume it's around 25%. So
Wow.
uh, that kind of takes one Coors bet off the board.
Yeah.
Probably a Rockies bet. So that's
Unless you went
interesting.
Javier, man. If you went Javier, I guess you could maybe afford all that with Miranda, but should be very, very, very interesting to see where the field went today. I feel pretty confident in my Joe Ryan play. I feel like he's about to turn on that good stuff today. Feel pretty confident about where I ended up. But Jared, let's get out of here there so you can go watch your Bucks and I can go watch some baseball. Any final thoughts for you, good sir?
I think well, I think it's gonna be I think that number probably comes in on Woodruff, but imagine what we'll be able to talk about tomorrow if Rodon comes in as the Chuck.
Oh my goodness. If Rodon comes in as the chalk, I'm gonna be a not very happy camper because I talked about how good of a play it was, man.
It's a good
I
play.
it was a great play. It was a great tournament play. But who knows? Maybe we're able to talk about Dodgers finally getting to Rodon. But that is it. Everything will be back to normal. I had a family emergency come up today. I won't into too many details, but that's why I was out of office this morning. But we will be back and good to go tomorrow. And we have an early only slate tomorrow, like a 7 game early only slate. So we have a lot of content to cover tomorrow, and I'll be excited to do it with you guys here and in the Discord. So thank y'all for hanging out. We greatly appreciate it. As always, my name is Joshua Reimer. Good night and good skill.